Mobile Service Monday brought to you by Spiffy, the only full-stack mobile service platform trusted by top dealers and OEMs.
Now that we do a lot more fleet with aftermarket and stuff like that, we use like the Napas and stuff like that, and they're pretty good about delivering wherever our guys are at.
And a lot of the fleet customers, they don't need an OEM part. They want a good, solid aftermarket part. Don't sell them, a set of silver pads from AutoZone, but if you want to buy a premium pad, they're always going to be happy with it. We even have some of them request it. Hey, just get me a good aftermarket.
Yeah. But looking at your appointments, and like you said earlier, Corey, if you got an F-150 and it's got so many miles on it, the technicians know it's like, chances are that's about time the brake pads need replaced and stuff like that. It's just we're trying to find efficiencies. It's like, hey, what can I do to have my technician take less steps in between the cars and the parts having to deliver? So we're looking at a little bit of everything. We stock. My problem is now, because we're actually pre-selling and our technicians are doing a great NPI now, is we're running out of inventory on the van. So we only have like one per, and it's like if you got a technician that's like, very good, now I'm having to increase the inventory level on the vans basically. Yeah. And we just thought the air filters, cabin, and wipers, and the diesel fuel filters and little odd men, like the top 5 sellers of Ford.
And see, that's why there's aftermarket programs out there for that aren't Ford or GM or Chrysler. There's like Tech Young, but like Full Bay, where I can assign a unit and I can assign an inventory just to that vehicle's unit number. Like one of our unit number 7, I can get its own location. It's got it carrying its own inventory. Now I can make the tech responsible for all that. That's how a lot of the Class 8 mobile world's living. But with the dealer, because you have your direction from GM, and how they want their system ran, how you need to build in one of the main, Tech Eons or CDKs of the world. So it's kind of the challenges that's been on this side are way different than what I thought they would be.
Oh yeah,
especially that parts piece.
Yeah, definitely, because we are a dealership. We're GM, we're Ford, and we sell Ford products. I always have to remind the owners, my staff is like, Bo Bozart has no stock in Advance or Napa. He sells Ford parts. And it's like, that's our first goal, is to sell the Ford parts. But, there are that, the ones that are looking, especially a fleet and stuff like that, you got to be very flexible on that side of it. And that's the cool thing about the fleet side, because, when they have other makes and models, it's a little bit easier on that, but on the Fords, we do try to push the Ford stuff on that.
Oh, we're doing the same thing. We're spinning Delco filters on Mercedes, and Dodges every day. A bunch of your Ford Transits, actually. It's got a Delco. There's a Delco number for that. So, we want to sell GM. Yeah. But, like I say, if you want to be effective and I think more efficient, I think you have to think outside the box on a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Especially when you start scaling the fleet side of it.
I'm glad it's working out for you, for sure.
Yeah, it's different. It's you kind of have to. It's almost like you have to make bad decisions just to get the ball rolling, basically. And it's like, hey, let's tweak that a little bit. Let's not go out and do that. And then you may hit them too high. Then you lost your chance. I put some bids in, and I'm not good with this bid stuff. And I'm at the point now. It's like, I'm glad I'm not good with it, because I'm looking at what the bids won, and I was like, how would they even do that? It's like, why does everybody race to the bottom dollar and just give stuff away? And then it's like, I don't want to be stuck with that for 2 years.
That's actually, me being older and Jake being younger than me, and in the dealer world, me not, that I was actually something that I was able to pick up from him. He was like, man, he goes, I'm not giving this away. I'm like, dude, I know, but if you want to do this work. So we end up meeting in the middle on some of it. And some of it, I was like, you know what? You're right. I don't want the work for that. We're not going to make that. It's not going to be there. We're walking away. And I've done that with several customers. Hey, appreciate it. If I can help you in any other way other than your services or whatever, I'm like, here's what my rate is, and I'll help you out all day long, And we have had some customers, that tried some other things or somebody else, and, say, hey, your guys are always here. You're doing this work, so here's my services. So when you can is what I'd say.
Yeah. Now, when what's what's the next step for mobile service in your group? So what's on the horizon?
Adding more vehicles, and that's the biggest thing. Next,
Yeah, I think we got number 9 coming.
I think we might have to jump.
Yeah, we're thinking we're gonna jump to
now.
We're gonna go from what we thought was our 9th vehicle coming to jump into 12. I think real quick here because this real retail thing is good. You know, it's really blown us away. I mean, obviously we're real upset it wasn't turning like we thought it was a couple months ago, but you know now we see what it's doing. You know, luckily we've been able to source a couple of pretty good young men that are early 20s that we can get in at a good rate, and that's going to make the difference on this retail side. I think is really controlling what that rate's going to be across and volume. You know, so I think that'll work out good for us. It gives them an opportunity to learn. You know, and if we can get up to, I told Jake, we're doing a great job number would be 20 units in a year, and I think. In 26, I think by January 1 of 27, we can do that with what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still fleet focused. Picked up a couple really good new ones today that I think are going to be added, and they're the 35, 32 units a piece. But that figure just so shy of 75 units altogether. But they're enterprise customers who love the fact that they don't worry about what it costs. They just need it done because enterprise is monitoring it. You know what their numbers are. You know where you have to be with your invoices and stuff with them. And in my opinion, it makes it easier. It takes the guesswork out of it and stuff. We can go over, do the work, get the approvals right through the portal and stuff. And the volume with everybody we've started with fleet-wise, the volume just keeps going up. I don't think we've lost anybody that we've done a mobile repair for on fleet custom.
Oh yeah,
just increased volume.
Yeah, what you're going to find out, especially on the retail side, is once you turn that faucet on, you can't cut it off.
Yeah,
because especially when you start going in the neighborhoods, and now all the neighbors are asking the neighbors is like, well, what are they doing to your car? And then next thing you know is it's going to take off because that's as soon as we started pushing fleet, my retail jumped up. And, I'm just planning, fleet's going to be the savior of the world. I'm going to have to put more people on it. And now I'm finding out it's like, hey, we got to back off. Now I got to have more retail people because retail keeps coming. And it's like in waves. And this has this is the first time we're pressed that I don't have enough. I'm having to hire more technicians and fill more vans up and be creative with shifts and stuff like that to kind of get the demand up, because right now I'm 4 days out now, and I've never been 4 days out. I was selling fleet because I could come the same day or next day, and now I'm like, hey, stop telling people that.
Yeah, and literally with the way this retail's coming on, same on our end, brother. Say exactly the same. Hey, we gotta, because Ryan's like, I got a schedule for next week. Well, Corey, you're not gonna be happy, but I got to schedule this guy for Tuesday next week. I'm like, I'm not happy. I'm ecstatic right now that we're that busy. Bring it on. But yeah, we're going to add some people, add some vehicles. We're like I said, we've had some younger guys to help with that retail side. I think with what we have coming on the larger scale, we might be looking at adding another, what I'm going to call a fleet tech, and that because I'm sure you have a definition. These are my fleet guys. These are my retail guys with a couple blended guys between type thing. I think that's just going to be what the norm is for anybody running mobile. You're going to have that blended crew that is, I got this, I've got this, and I got these 10 guys I flip between all of it. Just so you can cover.
It is. It's like my fleet guys are the more like your flat rate technicians. They like to do a lot of volume. They like to work.
Not afraid of anything.
My retail guys, they have a little bit about that, but they're real more relationship based. They like a little bit of both. They're not as aggressive as my fleet guys are, but they do like to chat, but they do like to sell stuff, and they kind of maximize the opportunities.
Here's a question for you that just hit me. So on your retail side, with as many units as you're running, you're technician. So say, are you running the same 2 technicians to the south end of town all the time? So they're seeing those repeat customers and regulating that, or is it just how the schedule kind of falls?
We let our spiffy software do that because we thought about doing that, but it's almost like one area didn't have anything, and it's like it was too shuffling around for us. So
you're just using Spiffy to at the dealership start.
Yep.
You're not putting any. You're not adding any addresses for hey, technician lives here.
Nope.
Just using the dealer as the hub.
Yep. Yeah. And now we did try to do a strategy where the technicians would take their vehicles home and stuff like that. And I could never dial it into like parts or somebody called out sick and it was just extra work. So now it's like all the vans are at the dealership and that's your start location. And then it just maps it out based on skill level from that piece of it.
I think that's what it's going to be for retail for us. So a couple of our fleet guys, they'll preload heavy. Like we had a guy load last night for 9 services today, plus some brake jobs and stuff. And he lives north. The job was north. It works out because of the way we schedule it through.
Yeah. Now we do
on that side.
Now, certain instance that if a technician lives like close to their first appointment and it's an oil changer or something easy, then we do have it's like, hey, take the van home, or like we had a big fleet event this early week. It's like, yeah, it's not common sense for you to come to the dealership and backtrack and go all the way back. Just take the van home, just drive it home at that night because you're going to be getting back late anyway. So there is some exceptions that it's almost like common sense. It's like, hey, does it make sense to do that? It's like
manage per area, per job, per guy. I mean, you got your people's got to be dug down in it to make it work.
Yeah. For sure. Well, good deal. Well, guys, it was great having you on the show. It's like, man, that was a fast 30 minutes.
I've got 5:49. You've made me 2 hours late getting home, so it's fine, Jeremy. I'm here to help.
Listen, I'm pretty sure Jake will make it up for you. He'll give you off on Sunday.
Yeah, he will.
He can stay.
I'll go sleep in his camper.
Yeah, so you can stay in my camper right there.
Yeah, that's your office.
He's
I need
offered
that
a couple times. I'm like, Jake, I've slept in a lot of campers. Hell, I like camping. But I really like throwing my arm around my old lady when I go to sleep. That's what I always tell you. I'm like you. I'm one of the few people. I like my wife. I want to go home. Not like most of these guys. Oh, yeah, just give me a hotel room. I'll stay down here. Nah, I'm good.
Well, good deal, guys. Well, it was great having you on the show. Great seeing you again, and hope to see y'all soon. And we'll keep y'all posted of because y'all did throw that competition out that y'all were coming after me on the GM side. So I'm still going to hold you to that.
Currently, we are the largest Chevrolet mobile dealer in the country.
Look at y'all go.
We're going to joke him. I mean, he's got. What'd you do last month? 2,000 repair orders? 22?
2,299. I was one shot.
Brother, dude, we're going to do everything we can to even try to get close to you.
It'll come fast because y'all are doing everything like you're supposed to be doing, and it's going to come super fast for y'all because y'all get it, y'all understand it, y'all know the value of it, and the way y'all are pursuing it. It's going to come faster. Your problem is getting the vans in fast enough.
Yeah, that's our biggest issue is getting the vehicles.
Luckily, though, getting the vehicles in with a couple of our guys, we've got some guys who can throw in those shelving packages and do a little upfit for us. That's gonna be a huge advantage. That's gonna help us more than a lot of dealers because we can just say, hey, we're gonna build it like this and go, kind of how you've done with some of yours.
Yep. Just figure it out as you go along. But well, good deal. It was great seeing y'all. We'll be in touch and we will see y'all next Monday. Thank y'all for being on the show.
See you, Jeremy. Thanks,
Jeremy. Have a good one, buddy.
All right, you too.